Hello, this is Yogeshwar 7000 again, and I'm back on my series on stories from the Puranas. And today we'll be having a continuation of our earlier video where King Janamejaya was putting forth questions to sage Vyasa about where the universe came from, who is the highest god, is it Shiva or Vishnu or Devi, and whom to worship to, is it the Lord Sun whom everybody worships to, or is it Indra? So all these questions confused the mind of King Janamejaya, and he was asking sage Vyasa about these questions, and sage Vyasa had answered King Janamejaya that even he was confused with these questions. So he had gone to sage Narada, who is the Devarishi, or the Rishi, or the sage of all the gods, and who rules over all the munis. And sage Vyasa had gone to him and put forth these questions to him, to which sage Narada said, well, this is a very difficult question. Even I did not know this question. So he himself, which is sage Narada himself, had gone to Lord Brahma for these questions. And he went to Father Brahma of endless energy and asked him that, O Lord, O Father, where is this Brahman coming from? Where is this universe coming from? Have you created it? He is asking. Sage Narada is asking this question because King Janamejaya asked sage Vyasa asked sage Narada, and sage Narada replied to Vyasa that he himself did not have this question. So he had gone to Lord Brahma and he had asked him this question: where was this Brahmanda born from? Brahmanda is the Sanskrit word for universe. Have you created it? Or is it Vishnu or Maheshwara? Who is there in this Brahmanda fit to be worshipped? O Lord of the world, who is the topmost Lord ruling over everything? That is what sage Narada is asking Lord Brahma. Kindly say, O Brahman, I am plunged in the sea of Maya and perils. My heart is agitated with doubts. Hence, it is not appeased in any place of pilgrimage, or in thinking any deva, or in practicing any sadhana, or any kind of a meditation or austerity, or in any other object. O sinless one, please give me answers and remove my doubts. Unless the highest truth is not known, peace is not found. This heart is distracted in various ways, cannot rest fixed on one subject. Whom am I to remember? This is what sage Narada is asking Brahma. And to whom do I have to remember? Whom to worship? Where to go? Whom to praise? Who is the supreme God of this universe? I do not understand these things. So, hearing these questions rather from sage Narada, Brahma, or Lord Brahma, the grand father of all beings, he replied to sage Narada as follows. He told him, Lord Brahma said, O illustrious son, what more shall I say to you than this, that even Vishnu is unable to answer your questions? So difficult are these questions. Okay, so those who are unattached to this world, those who are free from any envy, those who are without desires and are very, very calm, those are the high soul ones who will know the secret of all this. And what is the secret? That who's the Lord of all this universe? Where did this universe come from? Is it Shiva, Vishnu, Devi, any other sun, or Indra? Who is the Lord of everybody? And this secret is known only to people who are unattached to this world, who are free from envy, desires, calm, and who are high-souled ones. They are the ones who will know the secret. This is what Brahma is replying. In former days, when all was water everywhere, and all things moving and non-moving were destroyed, when the five elements came back again. And what are the five elements? We know that Prithvi, Jal, Vayu, Agni, and Akash. Prithvi is earth, Jal is water, Vayu is wind, and fire is Agni is fire, and Akash is space. Okay, these are the five elements which make the entire universe. And Lord Brahma says that I was also born from the lotus navel of Vishnu. Then, not seeing moon, sun, trees, or mountains, or anything sitting in the lotus, I thought, when am I born of this ocean of waters? Where am I coming from? Who has created me? Who is my protector now? Who will be my destroyer? So these are the confusions which Brahma had. And Brahma is telling this to sage Narada. What is this water? Where does this water come from? What does this water rest on? I mean, it cannot keep hanging in air. And unless there is an earth underneath with mud and dirt, how have I come out of the lotus? Because you cannot have a lotus without earth. You cannot have a stem which ends in a lotus, where I was born, without any kind of an earth, and there's water all around. So he was confused. Brahma was confused. Lord Brahma was confused himself. So he's asking himself, he's confused. So he thinks, Lord Brahma thinks, that let me find out where the root of this lotus is. Where is the mud and the dirt? Where is the earth part, where the lotus is coming from? It is coming from the navel of Vishnu, but what is the origin? That's what is coming in the mind of Lord Brahma. If this can be found out, then earth will also be certainly there. Then he thinks about this, Lord Brahma thinks about this, and he dived underneath the water and searched for 1,000 years, but could not find earth anywhere. And then there was a celestial voice which entered Lord Brahma's ears, and the celestial voice said, practice tapasya, which is austerities. Hearing the celestial voice, he sat on the lotus, his birthplace, Lord Brahma's birthplace, and practiced austerities, meditation, tapasya for about 1,000 years. Okay. After 1,000 years, the celestial voice came again, and celestial voice said, create. So hearing this, Lord Brahma became quite confused again and began to think within himself, now what am I to create? What to do? After this, two terrible daityas or demons, Madhu and Ketaba, came to him and made him frightened by saying, fight with us. And Lord Brahma was quite terrified. And this is a commentary, by the way, once again, which Lord Brahma is explaining to Devarishi Narada, when he asked these questions to Lord Brahma as to who created the universe and who is the highest Lord who is to be worshipped. And Lord Brahma tells him that after he saw the two terrible demons, Daityas, Madhu and Ketaba, he became quite frightened, terrified. And he held on to the stem of the lotus. He got down within the water. And then he saw a wonderful entity sleeping on the serpent, the Ananta serpent, and that was none other than Vishnu. He was of deep blue color, like a rain cloud, wearing yellow clothes. He was four-armed. He was garlanded with forest flowers and the lotus of this whole universe. On the four arms of this Mahavishnu, we know that he has four arms. There were conch shells, disc, club, and lotus, and other weapons. Lord Brahma saw this Purusha sleeping on the Ananta serpent bed, motionless, and under the influence of Yoga Nidra, that's deep slumber. Yoga Nidra, that's a Sanskrit word. And then Lord Brahma thought within himself, what am I to do now? Not being able to find out any other way, he thought about the Devi and began to praise her. And the auspicious Devi, which is the Yoga Nidra, the deep slumber, that's also of the nature of sleep. That's the Devi he was thinking about, the nature of sleep. He meditated on her. He started praising her. And the auspicious Devi, Yoga Nidra, or the deep sleep form, left the body of Lord Vishnu and, decorated with divine ornaments, began to shine in the air. So you could see the Yoganidra left the body of Vishnu, and this Yoganidra Devi was decorated with divine ornaments. After she left the body of Vishnu, Vishnu immediately got up, because the deep sleep came out of his body, and he woke up immediately. And he fought for 5,000 years with the demons, the Danavas as they are called in Sanskrit, Madhu and Kaitaba. And then by the grace of the Devi, the Bhagavati as it's called, he extended his own thighs, and then on those thighs he killed these two demons, Madhu and Kaitaba. And then where Vishnu and Lord Brahma was standing, Rudra, which is another name for Lord Shiva, came and joined. So they became the Trinity, which is Brahma, Vishnu and Rudra. And then we three, so that's what Lord Brahma is explaining sage Narada. Then we were three, which were Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, or in Rudra form. We three saw the beautiful Devi in the celestial space. Okay, and then we three started to chant hymns to her, and she was very happy, and she gladdened our hearts by her gracious look and said, "O Brahma, O Vishnu, O Rudra, the two great demons are finished, they're destroyed, they're killed. Now forsake your laziness and do your respective works of creating, preserving and destroying the universe." So that's the instructions the three gods, Shiva, Vishnu and Rudra, are getting from the highest Devi. So far this is what Lord Brahma is explaining sage Narada, that this is what happened, and this is the instructions of the Devi. So hearing the Devi's gentle sweet words, all three gods spoke to her, "O mother, there is no wide earth here, it's only water. All is one mass of infinite ocean, and there are no five elements." And the five elements we just discussed: Prithvi, Jal, Vayu, Agni and Akash. Okay, there are no sensual organs, there are no gunas, and the three gunas are Tamas, Rajas and Sattva. Nothing is here. How can we then execute the works of creation, preservation and destruction? And on hearing the three gods' words, the Devi smiled. The goddess, the supreme goddess, smiled. She immediately came from the sky in a beautiful space car, and she said, "O Brahma, O Vishnu, O Rudra, get in this car, get in this spaceship without any fear. Today I am going to show you one wonderful thing." And at her word, the three gods got into the beautiful car without any fear. And the car was decorated with various gems and jewels, and it was emitting sweet sounds of bells, and it was looking as if it was the abode of the celestials. Okay, seeing us seated without fear, the goddess made the car go high up in the sky by her force. Okay, so this was in continuation of our earlier video, where Lord Brahma is explaining what happened when he himself didn't have these questions. He didn't have the answers to the questions which King Janamejaya put forth to sage Vyasa, and sage Vyasa put forth to sage Narada, and now sage Narada has put forth to Lord Brahma, and Brahma is giving a commentary and explaining that I had no answers to your question, but let me explain you how I was created, and how I was created out of the lotus coming out through the stem, or the stem coming out of which ended in a lotus from Vishnu's navel, and then how Rudra joined us, and how the Devi appeared after Vishnu killed Madhu and Kaitaba, the great demons, and how she took us up into the skies in her celestial car. Okay, so we'll stop at here for the moment, and we'll be discussing or continuing with our story from the Puranas in our next forthcoming video. And hopefully you enjoyed this. This is coming directly from the Puranas. It is not coming out of any kind of a published story, either on paper or from the internet. So please have firm faith and belief in it. And in the meanwhile, I will recommend subscribe to my channel, check out my website, there is a link below, and I will see you with an interesting story in Vedic astrology or continuation to stories from the Puranas in my next session very soon. Goodbye.